collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the original sketch versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Playmates. So this is something that we saw teased a while ago. It's the 4 turtles all based on those original sketches from Eastman and Laird, and they look really fun. Now, I found these at my Target today. I believe they are Target exclusive, just like those redone original figures or Walmart exclusives. They retail for $14.99 each, but I guess they're on sale right now. I think Turtle Stuff is like 30% off, because when I took them to the front, they rang up as $10.49. So not going to say no to that. They came out to about $10 a piece. So I'm super psyched for these. I think they look like a lot of fun. We have the packaging here. You can see we have the open window. You can see the figure inside. You have the 40 years of TMNT logo up here, Nickelodeon, of course. And then you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of written in that original font that they used. It says it includes an original sketch reprint, so that's kind of cool. And then it shows the figure over here on the little piece of the base that he comes with. Over here on this side, it shows the 4 of them together with the base fully constructed. Not too much going on down the bottom or the top, but you can see pictures of those original sketches, and they are also on the box here as well, in the 2 corners, as well as this original sketch of the 4 of them with that font that they're using here. And it gives you a little snippet of the history of how they came up with it, which I think is really cool. These are just really fun figures. I think these are going to be really neat. I can't wait to check them out. So I'm going to go ahead, get all 4 of them out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Wow, I was really excited for these, and I wish I could tell you that they're amazing. So I will. They're actually a lot of fun. I'm just messing with you guys. I think these are cool. I mean, for what they are, I think they're totally fun. They're definitely, you know, Playmate figures. I'm glad that they're in the $10 to $15 range and not in the $20 to $30 range, because certainly not worth that. But they definitely are a lot of fun. I like them quite a bit. They're not perfect. They have a couple little issues, but honestly, for what they are, I think this is a really cool style, you know, invoking that original concept art. I'm going to kind of put these guys off to the side, and we'll go through these guys one at a time here. So first up, we have Leonardo. And the thing about these that I think is really cool, they're based off those original sketches, but it's got the color palettes that you're used to. So of course, they all have their different colored bandanas. They have that shade of green that kind of really nicely complements that bandana color. So we're used to seeing the lighter green Raph, this darker Leonardo, the almost brown Donatello, and then that kind of like, you know, deep green Michelangelo. So all those color palettes are still here. The one thing I think that is interesting, Leonardo is the only one to have the pads on the knees. None of the others do. Now, I'm assuming that's because in the original sketch, that's how it appears. And I wanted to show this off real quick. Each one of these comes with this. This is the original sketch reprint that they were talking about. And it's just, you know, printed on this little piece of cardboard, but it's kind of cool. You know, something you could maybe put in a cheap frame and just hang up somewhere. I think it looks pretty cool. So you can see Michelangelo has his nunchuck clipped to his wrists, and the figure can do that as well. And then for whatever reason, Leonardo is the only one to have the knee braces. None of the others do, and so the figures are faithful to that, which I think is kind of cool. Also, Raphael, for whatever reason, has like one blade along the back, and so the figure has that as well. Yeah, so very cool. So you do get one of these little prints included with each of the figures. So I have 4 of them that are exactly the same. But yeah, I think these are really fun. They're definitely oddly proportioned, but again, very evocative of that original sketch. They have their tails, something that were taken away so long ago. We finally have the tails back. The one thing I will say that's a little wonky is these katana weapon storage. I don't really know exactly what to call these. The sheaths, the scabbards, whatever we want to say. It's the same piece for both of these for Leonardo, and it's the same one that comes with Raphael. And they clip onto the belt in a very strange way. The way that these look, it looks like this is supposed to be the top, and this is the bottom. At least that's my best guess. They are open on both ends, so that if you want to put the sword through either end, like you can see on this one, I did it the other way just because of the way I wanted to attach it. Technically, I guess I would attach it like this, but that looks kind of wonky to have all that space in between, and also it's kind of at a weird angle, so I just opted to do something like this so that they're a little bit closer together, and they're, you know, just looks better. But then I had to put the sword in upside down, which it still works, so you can totally do that. But yeah, the scabbards or the sheaths here on the back are a little wonky, but the rest of these I think are a lot of fun. I like the little shading markings around. I love the design of the feet. Now I will say the feet are big and hollow. They have these little sections here so that they have the peg holes so that you can attach them to the base, but they are very hollow underneath there. But getting into the articulation, you have a hinge here at the neck, which can also rotate side to side. And I love the head designs. I think they did such a good job there. I absolutely love that. The bandanas look great. They got the gritted teeth. I love that. I love the skinny necks. I think that works really well. You have a hinge at the shoulder as well as a rotation. You have a hinge and a rotation at the elbow. You can see the hinge joint there. And then you also have a wrist swivel. Now in some orientations, it does look a little weird because it's wider than it is thick, if that makes sense in certain areas. So, you know, you are going to see some parts of that hand hanging out there, but if you line it up, it looks normal enough. And then down here, you have a hinge and a rotation at the hip, I guess, if he has hips. And so I've kind of put them off to the side so I can put them in the kind of squat pose that I like for them. And you also have a hinge and a rotation here at the knee. Nothing in the ankle, of course, because it is one big hollow foot. But overall, I like them. Like I said, especially having picked them up for $10 a piece, I think they're perfect. $15, I don't think is pushing it. If they were $20 a piece, I would think that's too much. I think $15 is probably the perfect price point. Like I said, if you can get them as part of the Target sale that's going on right now, I think they're an absolute steal. But I think $15 is fair. So you can see, we'll put the katana in his hand. He holds them well enough. Not the best, though. I mean, if you wiggle it around, you can kind of get it in a better pose. He's got very large hands, and they're kind of shaped strangely. So let's take a look at one of these on its own. Definitely a good length. I think that's nice. And you have, you know, the blue here for the handle, that little bit of gold at the bottom. I believe they're molded in blue, and then no, you know what? I think it's actually, they're probably molded in gray, and the handles are painted blue. I'm trying to look at this and see. Because see there, yeah, I think it's molded in the gray plastic and then painted blue. I kind of wish it was the other way around because, you know, putting this in their hands, I don't want the paint to wear off over time. I would rather this be the plastic and this be the paint because obviously they don't have to hold on to the blade part, but hopefully it should be okay. It really does look good. I mean, it almost looks like this could be blue plastic, but I think it's painted. Looking at where the blade meets the hilt, I think that's what's going on there. Could be wrong. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you know for sure. But also they have kind of this weird arc to them, which I think is interesting. But again, I think that's going off of the original sketch. Although honestly, if I bring this back in temporarily as I'm kind of looking at this off camera, they don't, I mean, maybe ever so slightly, there's a little bit of a curve there. But ever so slightly. Yeah, I don't know. In any case, these are very curved, but it works. I mean, we can definitely have them hold these. Like I said, I just really hope that over time the paint does not wear off. Get this into his hand here. Make him grab onto that as tightly as possible. And then we can put him in kind of a classic pose. So, very cool. I'm loving Leonardo. He looks great. Let's move on next to Raphael. So again, he's got this blade on the back. Now the packaging shows this kind of up like this. But then it kind of hangs really far away from the body, which I think is kind of weird. Like, is he really reaching all the way back here to grab a hold of that? He can't even reach it. So I think that's kind of weird. Technically, I guess you could have it go either straight across like this, or you could flip this around and do maybe straight across like this. The connection's a little weird. I think this looks the best because it kind of puts it closest to his shell, but then you definitely have this really jutting out far to the side. I mean, or if you'd rather, you could, of course, just leave it off altogether. He doesn't really use it, as we're most familiar with him, so you don't really need it on there. Of course, he comes with his two side. They fit here very comfortably on the front. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this in kind of that classic pose with the sai blade in between the two fingers, but you can certainly do a normal pose here if I can get this into his hand. There we go. And again, I believe this to be gray plastic with the handle painted red and then the gold on the end. But they look perfect. They look really sharp. I love the look of this. That looks really good. I'll put this one in the hand this way. Maybe we can get this going here. The nice thing is the hands, they're solid plastic, but you can kind of move them a little bit if you need to. But yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. He has all the same articulation as Leonardo. Got those gritted teeth. And I love the white for the eyes, you know, no pupils. I think that's definitely the way to go. Really looks cool. I like that quite a bit. He looks great. Next up, we will check out Donatello. So he's got that really kind of dark brown skin. Again, all the same articulation. Nothing as far as knee pads go. Leonardo's the only one to have those. And then we have the bow staff here. This fits perfectly. This one actually is the best of the bunch in terms of holding the weapon on the back. That looks really, really good. And then if we pull this out, it's actually a little snug, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. We have kind of a black wash here for the band, the tape. I think that looks really, really good. And then we'll go ahead and put this in his hand. This one should actually go the simplest of all of them, honestly. Now the only thing, can I get the hand to actually do? Yeah, we can. We can get this to go. Something like that. Kind of looks like he's holding it more like a guitar than a bow staff, but we'll make do. But yeah, he looks great. I love the long necks on these and the short little bandanas and the gritted teeth and like just everything about this original style really speaks to me. I love these older designs of the turtles. I really, really like them quite a bit. And then last but certainly not least, we have Michelangelo, and he has those clips for the nunchucks on the wrist, which looks really cool and is right out of the original design. I think that's so cool. They worked out really great. And you just unclip them, and then we'll pop one in the hand here. Now see, these are actually done completely in orange plastic with just the tips painted gold. So this shouldn't be an issue for him holding them. I don't think that's going to wear any paint off. You also get real metal chains, which is really nice. I think that looks really good. So let me see what I can do about getting this in his hand. There we go. I'm going to leave one on just because I really like the look. I was trying to see if I could actually rotate the clip around. Like, obviously the hand rotates at the wrist. I don't think the clip rotates around. And I'm really kind of hesitant to try because it doesn't seem like it wants to move. So I don't think this moves. The wrist moves, and of course the elbows move, but I don't think that moves. It doesn't seem like it wants to. Like, it seems like I'm just moving the arm. You can see that's what's moving, not the clip. So I'm not going to chance it. But again, love the designs. They all have the same articulation. I love the little tails. I love the little, like, animation marks. You know, the shading on the chest. I think that's really cool. I kind of wish, as much as I love the shading on the chest, I kind of wish it had a little bit on, maybe even just the feet. If the arms are too thin, I can understand. But I wish maybe just a little bit on these big feet. I just think that would have worked better. It kind of reminds me of those ones they did for the Capcom team-ups, or Street Fighter team-ups, where they had all that shading on the chest and nothing on the arms and legs. And I don't know why Playmates keeps doing that. If you're going to do this shadowing, I think it looks good, but I think you need just the tiniest little bit somewhere on the legs. Even if you couldn't do the arms. I understand. The arms are thin, and I could give you that. But I feel like you should do a little bit on these big feet, because they're so huge. But yeah, these four look fantastic. I love this original style. I think they did such a good job with these. I'm really happy. Let's talk about the base very quickly. It's very simple. Each one comes with this little plastic piece. You can see it's hollow underneath. But it says Raph and Don. So if you look at these, the Raph and the Don one is exactly the same. So they both say Raph and Don on the bottom. And then if you look at this one, it says Leo. And then if you look at this one, it says Mikey. I thought that was so cool. It's just etched in there, just so that way if you ever mix them up or you want to know who it's meant for. I mean, technically you could mix them around. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't. I mean, the bases, you know, they'll all peg into the bases, but I just thought it was neat that they etched into the bottom, you know, who is supposed to, or who it came with, we'll say that. And then it's just, you know, very simple little thing. You just kind of slide them into each other. Now, this is not any kind of permanent connection. You can't pick it up and move it. I mean, these don't really grab as much as they just kind of line up. So, I mean, they will not hold each other. This is not like a strong connection. If you ever need to move them around or take it apart, it's certainly easy to do. And once you put this together, you can't, you know, move it. Like, it's holding together. And it stays together well, like if I'm moving it across the tabletop. But as soon as I would go to pick it up, well, all right, now it's going to point me or prove me wrong here. It's holding together decently, but I wouldn't really trust it. I mean, it's somewhat holding together, but it's not like snapped together. It's just kind of politely holding on to each other. So we'll go ahead and set these guys up. We'll peg Mikey onto this. And I like how they put the box in the back so that the character in the back is not lost, because it would be very easy to, you know, not be able to see them. So I think that's really, really cool. And then we'll put Raph over here. And then pop Leo on the front. Now, I will say, I understand they use the same base for these two. I wish I could move Raph just a little bit further to the side, because the peg for Leonardo is just the tiniest bit too close to him. And so it's hard to kind of fit him where I want him, because he has these pieces on the back and they're kind of hitting into Raphael, and that's kind of a bummer. I can try to rotate it a little bit, but I do kind of wish that that peg was just either Leonardo's was a little bit more this way or Raphael's was a little bit more that way, whichever. But this makes for a really cool display piece. I really like this. I think this is really cool. Maybe if I turn him... Now, see, it's a little... These two are just a little too close. And then you have, it feels like all this space in between. Like, Donatello's out here on his own, and then Mikey's in the back. So, the spacing of the pegs is just a little off. But honestly, it's a small nitpick. This is a really cool display piece. I really like this. I think this is going to look great on a shelf. I love these old retro designs. And like I said, I think the price point is right. I think $15 a piece is fair. Like I said, if you can get them on sale for close to 10, I think that's a steal. I'm glad they're not 20 though. I think 20 would be pushing it with the hollow feet and, you know, just the few nitpicks that I have. I do really wish that they all had the knee pads, but again, that is based on the original sketch. So they're being faithful to that, which I totally understand. But I just personally would like them to have all be consistent with the knee bands. But again, I totally get it. But yeah, this is cool. I like this a lot. I think this is really neat. And if you really don't want all four of them, if you just want to get one, pick your favorite turtle, the display stand piece still works. You could still, you know, put this on your shelf by itself. Let me just pop Don off here. You know, I think something like this on a shelf by itself still looks really cool. And the other thing I didn't mention yet, it's not much, but they all come with these broken ooze canisters. They're completely hollow here underneath, as you can see. And there's just the tiniest little bit of paint on the canister itself. But it's these little, you know, ooze pieces. But you can see that there's kind of like this little insert there. And that's so that you can kind of slide this in here if you want. And it's actually like a little display stand for this. So if you wanted to maybe have these on a shelf like this, something like that, have this in the background and then put him there, that looks really cool. I think that's a fun little option. If I slide this back in, you could maybe just kind of put this here in the back, something like that. Or if you just wanted to kind of put one of the ooze canisters, you know, at their feet, something like that. Or maybe just put one in the front here with Leonardo, something like that. I think it's cool. I think that's a lot of nice little options you have there. I think it's neat how it doubles as a little display stand there for the cardboard reprint that they put in there, but also can just kind of be like a little display piece. Maybe we have all this extra space here. Maybe I'll pop one here, you know, have the broken ooze canister. Just a neat little accessory. So I think these are great. Honestly, I'm really happy with these. Sorry for the fake out at the beginning, but I couldn't resist. Yeah, they're just a lot of fun. Like I said, are they perfect? No. But for the price, I think that's spot on. Honestly, for what they cost, I think they're really, really fun. And I'm kind of glad that we can just pick up something that doesn't have to be $25, $30, $50. I don't need all of my turtle toys aimed at collectors to be that high-end kind of NECA Super 7 stuff. It's kind of fun to have something like this where it is based on that original design, celebrating the 40th anniversary, but still not breaking the wallet. I mean, $15 a piece for these is very affordable, I think. And if you have a favorite turtle and you just want to get your own, that's fine. If you want to invest in the four and display them as a little, display stand here, they all connect together, but they do work on their own. So I think this is really cool. Definitely advocating for these. I'm also really excited for those like revamped retro ones that are going to be exclusive at Walmart. I think those are going to be a lot of fun as well. And I'm interested to see how the display stand works out for those as well. But yeah, like I said, they're not perfect, but for the price, I think they're pretty close. I wish the feet weren't as hollow. I think, some of the scabbards and those kind of things connecting to the back is a little wonky. But they're minor nitpicks, honestly. For the price, I think they're fun. I think they're definitely a deal. I think it's worth it. I think it's a fair price. If you're a turtle fan, I think you need these. I really do. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.